Hey, welcome to North Idaho Experience. This podcast is for the people of North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. In today's episode, Eric, Dave, and I sit down and we're going to talk about the pension trap. We're all former first responders and or veterans, and this topic is near and dear to our heart because we have this conversation all the time with people thinking about making the move up here or thinking about transitioning out of the first responder world. We're not trying to sell anybody on leaving, but we're just trying to provide good information and some things to think about. So hope you guys enjoy this conversation. We had a good time doing it. It's been a long time coming. And keep in mind, if you're thinking about moving up here, we'd love to help you make the move. Our team specializes in helping conservative families find their freedom right here in North Idaho. Couple of hurdles for me.
I'm telling you, that's how the movie. Yeah.
Dude, you occasionally nail these metaphors, bro. Like the majority of the times, like you kill it, and you're like, "Oh shit, that resonates."
But
I can't get past that. That one, I can't.
I'm telling you, there's a couple of hurdles, like hairy body parts. I can't get past that.
Yeah, you're still gonna look like.
I think there's more than that, but anyway.
Yeah, you look like you sat on a squirrel, dude, and you're looking at that, and you're like, "Yep, no, I don't think so, dude."
It's honestly one of the bigger ones for me, dude.
Yeah, that'd be challenging.
And doing jiu-jitsu, I get very up close and personal with dudes all the time. In fact, today I was very close and personal.
Oh, I want you to put me in side control. I got something for you.
Yeah,
Love it.
I don't know if I want to do that anymore after this Brokeback Mountain theory, but
that's true. Now you know he's gonna enjoy it.
You want to do some jiu-jitsu?
Are you hungry? Yeah. Are you horny? Yeah. That's what's gonna happen while you're rolling doing jit.
All right. So Bob cut all of that. We're gonna go into our intro, right, Seth?
Keep it.
Let's go.
Yeah, hang on to it, Bob.
I really feel like that conversation will appeal to the crowd that we're trying to appeal to today.
I feel like what you do is you take that whole thing and you cut it into a short little series. Yeah. And you stick it over there on the side. Random thoughts with David, Seth, and Eric.
Yes. Dave thoughts. Like, and you just have that, and then you have him when he's talking about how clean his butthole is and wet wipes.
Yeah.
And
these are all relatable. These are all relatable things to the guys and gals that are going to hear this conversation today.
Yes.
I will do an intro that goes out before this and warn them. So you've been warned retroactively.
I don't know. I think we want to jump into the pension trap.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
That's why we're here.
So let's start it there.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a trap, huh?
Yep.
I had this conversation yesterday. We have this freaking conversation all the time. I had a guy call me from Chicago PD. He's been there like a long time. Shout out to Adam. And he's like, man, you know, I got X amount of years left. If I go to 50, I get this much. If I go to 57, I get this much and medical. And it's like trying to balance all this out. And I'm like, I remember being there, dude. For the last 10 years of my career, and I only did 14. So 4 years on, I was like, I can't wait till I retire because I'm going to do X. And I did that for years. And I'm like, why don't I fucking do it now? Why am I waiting to live my life? The guys always say, I'm going to retire and I'm going to sit on the beach with a fucking martini or whatever. And I'm like, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not
You can't afford it.
Yeah.
So can we define the pension trap real quick?
Yeah.
So a lot of this really goes out to first responders, right? Law enforcement, and fire. Like we've all had a pension or access to a pension or a future pension, something like that. I actually start getting mine in January. And no, I'm not 50. I am 42. I'm taking it early. But here's the thing. When we talk about the pension trap, there's so many people, especially first responders and public safety, right, that have this. They get into the job to be taken care of, and you hear about these bloated pensions and all this stuff and how neat it is to be able to retire and, you know, have this pension that comes in for the rest of your life. So I'll tell you this. Every one of us has given up a full pension, right? Every one of us. Mm-hmm. You receive a partial. You're going to get a partial when you're how old?
Oh, dude, it's like 55.
55. So you got 13 years.
Oh, yeah.
I start receiving a partial and lower because I'm taking mine early at 42. But here's the thing. The pension trap is the belief that the pension that you're going to receive is going to provide for you and your family, and it's going to be worth it. Wait for it. Take the one extra contract. Go a few more years. You see guys especially, oh, you know what? We got another contract coming up. I'm going to add 3 more years. I'm going to do 2 more years. I'm going to do these things, right? To no avail. And they find themselves physically deteriorating, mentally deteriorating towards the end of careers, divorces, losses of family members, isolation, and more definition that like they live in this one world. And then all of a sudden comes Retirement. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the first thing that I'll say about retirement. I don't know, or I know very few public safety first responders that live off of their base salary right now. They work overtime. They have a second job. And something I think the biggest thing to overlook is when you retire, that second job is all of a sudden gone. And that pension that is 3% COLA a year, when you have COVID hit and you have a 10% inflation, all of a sudden you can't keep up. And so that's what we're talking about today is the pension trap and the fact that each one of us has left a career, and we're not advocating or encouraging people, but we have some thoughts for you if you are going for that pension, how to make sure that that pension lasts and make sure that you can live the life that you want to live after retirement.
And I wonder, because I know lots of older guys that have been retired 20, 30 years, right? And they're doing okay. And I think it's a function of when they retired, inflation wasn't as bad. They weren't dealing with the things. Home prices weren't like they are. You know, they're already locked in on all that. I think times have changed, and I think they're going to continue to change as we move forward. And that's where this becomes much more relevant of a conversation.
I'm going to hit it from a different perspective.
The back?
Yeah, there you go. Back to the same conversation on how we started. No, but to me, it's about the ride, man. Like, everybody talks about the pension and when you get qualified. That was weird.
You're watching.
Everyone's listening right now. There it is. But to me, it's about everybody thinks that you get to a finish line when you get to retirement. That's the way you think about it your whole career. I got to stay in. I only got 8 more years. I got 9 more years. I got 10 more years. How many guys are out there counting days when they have 8 years left?
I know.
Sounds miserable, bro. You're over 1,000 and you're counting days. We had a rule in the military, man. You had to get under like 200 before you started counting days to the end of your contract. But man, when you're counting days that far out, there's no part of it. You better enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, if learned anything over several of the incidents that we've gone to or responded to or what's happened on Canfield, you never know when that day is going to be yours.
Right.
We know that the life expectancy of first responders and military is far less than the average in society. We just talked about that, whether it's our adrenals are shot, cortisol levels, stress, suicide.
That's why pensions are a thing. That's why they work, because
Cancer.
they're banking on us to die early.
Yeah.
Cancer like crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, man, it's not just a trap for that, but how many people are staying in a situation that isn't healthy for them. It's not healthy for their family. It's not where they want to be or what they want to do because they've bought into the old adage that, oh man, this pension is so valuable. There's a lot of value to it. I mean,
100%.
There really, really is, but the juice has got to be worth the squeeze, man.
And that's, I think, what the biggest thing. I don't advocate getting rid of a pension, but what I do see is that I know very, very few. In fact, honestly, personally, I don't know a single one that is a retired fireman or cop that is living off their pension only, okay? Their pension only, and they're able to live the lifestyle they want. I don't know a single one. I know a lot of retired public safety that have a pension that are living great lives. They have had a second career. They have started a business at some point.
Sugar mama.
They have invested. They have
Sugar mama.
Yep. Their wife is working
Sugar daddy.
and is got a great job, right?
Yeah.
Or sugar daddy. Yeah. So there's something else, right? There's some other income. There's some other investment, some other opportunity. Where I caution people is the people that go to work like I did and work 180 to 200 days a year. That's 24-hour shifts. You're away from your family for half the year because you want to get all that overtime. You find yourself living off of $250,000, $300,000 a year because you get paid great when you sacrifice your time. And the next thing you know, when you retire, you start receiving an income that's actually less than what you lived off of originally. And I have no investments. I'm not a smart investor. I didn't have a ton of investments when I was a fireman or a cop. I didn't have a second business or a second skill. And all of a sudden, when I left those careers, I was left with trying to figure out what to do. And there's a lot of people that don't have that bandwidth to go find something else. You hear it all the time. I'm just a cop. I mean, what else do I know how to do?
I literally heard that yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And what I encourage people to do is that if you're in a career like law enforcement, public safety, military, whatever it is, and you have the opportunity to invest or start another business or be involved with something else outside of work, one, it's an outlet. But two, it gives you the skills to move on and do something when you leave. And here's the thing, when you have negotiated with people on the worst day of their life for 15, 20, 25 years, and you don't think you can go negotiate with somebody at Costco,
right?
Or go negotiate with somebody selling a product or doing construction or real estate or something else, man, you're shortcoming yourself.
I feel the need to add this in, that this is not a sales pitch. There's no, at the end of this, we're like, hey, we want you to buy into this.
No.
Not at all. This is a conversation. I don't have the answer for you.
Look, I'm glad you said that, because what was I all excited about when we came in here? New crime statistics came out,
Yes.
and like where Idaho ranks and all of that. And I have the utmost respect, and I always will, men and women in blue and green that are out there like at the front line. I appreciate the hell out of the job. All we're positing is, if the only reason that you're in it is just to hit this finish line where you get this pension at the end and you're sacrificing everything and you're no longer enjoying it. I was extremely blessed, and that I got to leave that job without ever hating it. I never hit that. Yep. But I also realized that I would have had to have done it for 15 more years. There's no way I was going to get there without.
That's a long time, dude.
Dude, well, I feel like I lived multiple lifetimes in my 12. I was able to stack a lot of cool things. But yeah, it would have been 15 more years. And there was just that self-realization. How many people above me think positively about their career decisions? You ever do that? I mean, how many people are sitting out there at departments right now where you look up? That's what you should do. Look up and say, hey, that's a position that I want to go to.
Right.
I want to do that.
Right.
And then actually put yourself in those shoes and go, yeah, I'd be happy. Do they look that way? How many of them are passively encouraging you to go out and use that skill set? It's problem solving is what we're talking. Problem solving is marketable in any industry.
And communication.
Right? Yes.
The ability to communicate with another human being.
Problem solving, communication in high stress environments. Half the time we're in this in real estate, we're like, okay,
whatever.
Yeah, like
hey, we're gonna pull our offer. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, this isn't life or death. It's still critical moments in people's lives, but man, that's where I go back to that. It's crazy to me. You have to look forward. We're not trying to encourage anybody to get out, because we need good men and women on the ground and in our communities. But if you're miserable and you're in it, just know that there's another.
And you said it about yourself. None of us left our careers because we were miserable. I had circumstances that brought me up here to Coeur d'Alene, to where I left County Fire.
Yeah.
Right? I had circumstances that led to that. I had circumstances that allowed me to leave Coeur d'Alene PD. I love Coeur d'Alene PD. Mm-hmm. I had a great time working there with you. I think the men and women there are fantastic. There was no bad blood. There was no, I don't want to do this job anymore. Right. There was just other opportunities that allowed me to, I had already risked it, right? I was a lucky one because I'd already risked leaving a career. And so it wasn't as scary for me, but I mean, there's an identity theft that happens when you leave where you don't know who you are. But all of a sudden, man, the biggest conversation that I have with people that call me and there's like, well, what else can I do? And I'm like, man, not trying to encourage anybody to leave, right? But for people that are like, I want something else, or can I do something else? I'm like, man, there's a whole world out there. The best decisions I've ever made have been the risks that I've taken.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So much better to be able to go, you know what? Well, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see what else life is like.
I think, and it's normal in the public sector for people to move jobs. You know what I mean? To get into a career and think I'm stuck doing this for 30 years. It's not normal necessarily, right? I mean,
especially
that's
now.
where that pension trap is like, makes you feel like you have to do that. But there were definitely periods in my career where I hated it. And some of that's due to traumatic incidents. Some of that's due to toxic work environments. I mean, you know, if you're working at a shitty office or department, it makes your life hell.
In a shitty state.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's abnormal to want to change careers. And maybe you're older in life and you want to get into law enforcement, and that's fucking cool too. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't like the pension trap because it's a trap and it makes you feel like I can't go do anything else. I'm starting over.
I don't think it's just the pension either. I mean, in order for that industry to continue, it almost has to keep you identified in that role, if that makes sense. Like police and fire, it is one of those jobs where when you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself? There was a time in my life, my name's Eric, I'm a cop with blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Right? I'm not that way now. But in those professions, it's almost a requirement for some of the agencies to continue by wrapping people up and making that just a part of who they are. And I don't blame the industry for that, but where is that in the private industry?
Right.
Right now, this current generation is characterized by their willingness to move. I mean, loyalty to a company is almost gone.
Right.
People are more focused on themselves and their family now. A lot of good to come from that. It makes them more competitive in the market, and companies are having to adjust and offer better compensation and better, all of that, better benefits. But it hasn't trickled over into the law. Right. Although in law enforcement, you see people changing agencies all the time.
Right.
So it's starting to happen inside.
What's funny too is that, I loved being a fireman. I loved it. It was the funnest thing, man, to go hang out with your buddies.
Refer back to the Brokeback Mountain conversation.
Right, yeah. You go hang out with your 4 buddies.
Yeah, up on the
No, but
mountains.
seriously,
You
man,
hungry?
you go hang out with your buddies and you guys work out, you guys get to make meals together, you guys watch movies, you guys get to do high stress environments together, you get to train, you get to do all these cool things, right? And so it was a lot of fun. Being a cop was like dude, this is awesome. It was a whole new change. But honestly, for me and me alone, I don't know how much money you'd have to put in a pension for me to go back.
Man.
Because the freedom that I've experienced from being my own boss and showing up when I want and saying, you know what, today I'm going to go work on my garage, or I'm going to go to my daughter's volleyball game today. And I'm not dictated by a manager or a boss or somebody that's going to tell me that I have to be somewhere. I don't know. I'm being serious. I think if you tripled my salary, I don't know if I would go back.
Right.
No, I wouldn't either. And I'm super proud of having done it. Like, greatest achievement of my life to date. So, but same thing. I work more than I did then.
Oh, way more.
I work harder than I did then, but it's more satisfying because the fruits of our labors are in a direct relation to how hard we work.
Well, that's the thing. You were not a window licker in your previous career. Neither were you.
Sometimes.
You did lick the window. Every time you saw, oh, that's a good car, Dave. Please don't make me. I got 4 reports.
I still drive around and do that. All right, in fairness.
That's a good car.
Man, it is freaking wild to think about what that would be like transitioning on the outside. Never mind, my brain just went blank. That's what I get for drinking caffeine.
You were so excited. You had such a good thought.
I know, and then you guys kept talking, and it was really, really good. I just blacked out.
I've never seen your brain. Mine goes blank
It
all
did.
the time.
That's what happens when I drink an energy
We talked
drink
about
first
this
thing
the
in
other day, that
morning.
we'd be in the middle of a conversation and be like, God dang, did I listen to anything that they just said at all?
Does that happen to you guys too? Where you're like, oh God, I really hope I can remember what just happened.
That's why I have a pad of paper here in case I need it.
Yeah,
I
I know.
have the memory of a fucking goldfish. So
I know. See, it happens.
It does
It
happen.
just
It happens
blacked
to me
out.
quite a bit.
That was the first time in a while. That's
Impressive.
good.
No, I think, what do you guys think for people that are, there's a lot of, I get so many calls, you do too, I'm certain you do. You get calls and texts from people that are in public safety somewhere else and they just go, hey, I know that you left. What are your thoughts? What do you think I should do? How do you think I should get out? How should I manage, man? I mean, I met with Justin Arts, right when he left.
Yeah.
He was like, I thought he wanted to be a real estate agent. So he's like, hey, can we meet? I'm like, oh, here it comes. And then he was like, I just want to talk to you about, like, what did you do to get out? Like, because I want to do it and I have my plan. But what do you guys think the top career choices are for people leaving a profession like public safety if they were to do so?
Man.
I think they do well in sales. It doesn't have to be real estate, but I think sales is a good one because as a cop or a firefighter, you're selling something.
Right.
Whether it's like I'm selling you on the idea that putting you in handcuffs is a good idea right now.
Right.
Like I'm selling you on that, or selling you that giving me the dope in your pocket's better than me finding it, or whatever the fuck. But like, there's a skill in tactical communication that I think carries over to sales really well. I think that's probably one of the bigger ones you hear about.
I would agree. That's what I told my buddy the other day that called me. I was like, sales is huge because the cool thing about it too, and we tell people about this all the time. I'm like, man, I hate sales. Like, you hate those grungy salesmen, right? That try to push an idea
That's
on you.
the image,
stigma,
though,
dude.
right?
But when you come from a public safety heart, right? You want to be a servant. Like, a lot of people get into public safety because they have a community servant's heart, right? They want to do good for people. Then you're out there actually trying to work with people that will benefit from what you have, not just trying to make them believe they're going to benefit. But hey, you're looking for this. Here's how it benefits you.
Right.
It's crucial to make the distinction because I think sales has a negative connotation. And a lot of guys hear that and they're picturing some dude in a fucking ill-fitting suit. I'm not thinking of you.
My suit.
Your
fits
suit's great.
fantastic,
It's
bro.
great. I don't even own a suit.
Yeah.
You look like a defense attorney when you put that on.
I was my court suit, dude. My freaking court suit.
Thank you.
You son
Thank
of a.
So they're picturing that and like a cheesy whatever, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can come into a career and be your true authentic self. We're wearing t-shirts and hoodies every day. We go sell $1 million properties wearing the exact same shit and being ourselves entirely. And if people don't like us, I don't care. You don't care. Move on. Go find somebody else.
Well, how often in scenarios when you're in public safety or law enforcement do you run into somebody that's just charged up emotionally? And what they think they want is something that is absolutely not going to benefit them later. It's going to hurt other parts of their life. But you have to be able to weed in and figure out what's actually important to them.
Sure.
And then you're able to kind of redirect, hey, let's reset. You remember when you told me what was important to you over here? Let's go back. I think you're really tied to this right now because you want to win, right? So how often do you have those scenarios on domestics or anything else? And then you have to recenter and come back. And then both sides feel like they get a little bit of a win.
Right.
Like that part, I don't know how you replicate that. Whereas if you walk onto a car dealership, somebody's just trying to push a car on you if you can afford it, right? Like that's where the stigma shifts a little bit. And I think we truly go into problem solving mode. And I honestly believe in negotiations that both sides can really feel like they get a win out of that. And it's not about fleecing the other.
That's the ideal, right?
Right.
That's what you want. I don't like when buyers come in and I'm like, I just want to fucking, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, they're like, everybody has a goal in mind. The seller and the buyer have a goal in mind. And our goal or our job is to find the middle ground that everybody's a little bit happy.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
too, if you can do any sort of sales and tell somebody that the product you have is not right for them, then you'll be a good salesman.
Yeah.
If you can
That's
legitimately
what I
say,
mean.
hey, I know you want to buy a house right now, but right now is not the right time. Let's go back over your finances. Let's look at this stuff. Let's look at where everything's at. Let's look at your situation. If you want to do it, we can help you, but I don't see it being the most beneficial thing for you right now.
We deal with that a lot when people are like, I want a full-blown homestead. I want to be 50 minutes from everybody. And you're like, so what is it? What is it you like to do?
Your kids play club soccer and club
Basketball,
volleyball,
yeah.
and they're on different teams.
Yeah.
Do you think you really want to do that drive?
Yes.
10 times a day?
And
No.
look, I'm all for anybody else. Just like when we talk about house prices, I'll try to sell your house for whatever you want. Like 100%. Like that is our job. But I just want to give you a full perspective. And I'm not trying to persuade you. I just want to give you an idea. I'm going to put you in the seat of what that lifestyle is like day in and day out. And I think public service, we tend to do that a little bit more just because we've had to do that on other high intensity, highly emotional calls for service.
Certainly. Certainly. And it's hard. I mean, like I said, I agree with you. I think sales is the number one for sure.
Question. So on the East Coast, I grew up in the East Coast. It was very common for firefighters out there to have a whole second job. Like they were like HVAC guys.
Carpenters, yeah.
Is that
So
a thing where you came from too?
Somewhat. So back east, you have career departments back east, but the majority of departments back east, you'll notice you'll find some firehouses, and you're like, God dang, that's huge. That's because they're volunteer fire departments. So a lot of the fire departments back east are actually volunteer or part time. So it is not an income producing career. Right? It's something that's on the side. Maybe you get paid a few bucks or you get a paid call thing or whatever. But for the most part, they're volunteer. So all the taxes go towards equipment stations. So you'll see these amazing stations, great equipment. And then you have guys that run, calls one day a year.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but yeah, we have, I would say I'd say maybe 10, 15% of our guys had another career. And those are the guys that you saw do really well when they retired.
Was there like a common theme to the careers that they had?
No, I wouldn't say. I think a lot of them like to work with their hands. There's a lot of people that get involved in some sort of trade, right? Whether it be roofing or construction or some sort of woodworking. Like you see a lot of that, welding. You see a lot of things that people can tinker with, and they can do cool things on the side. Rental management was one. We had one guy that he spent his career while he was a fireman, buying rentals, and by the time he retired, he had a portfolio of like 15 rentals.
That's a smart dude
boy.
right there.
Well, see, and there's the example. That guy retired, and he did very well because he had something else that he could transition to that he'd been working on. And so all of a sudden you see that like the retirement makes sense for him. The pension makes sense for him but he didn't. I think the problem that people fall into is when I was a fireman, I would do an overtime and I'd get paid $1,200 a day to work overtime. Well, when your wife says, hey, I want to go on this vacation, it costs $2,000. You're like, all right, hey babe, I'm going to stay at work for 2 more days and we'll get it paid for. There's no argument from her. She's like, yeah, let's do it. So all of a sudden I trade 2, 15, 20, 30, 50 days a year to pay for these amazing vacations that we go on for 1 week. And I'm not home with my family. So I think most people, at least in the fire service, their second career is just working more.
Yeah.
Being away from family.
Blood
more.
money, dude. I remember a month I worked 28 days, and that's probably normal for a firefighter, but it's not normal for a cop. I worked 28 days out of the 30-day month. And I'm like, how much shit did I miss at home? Because I wanted to,
a lot.
Just get overtime. And it's like, fuck. I had to reevaluate my decisions at that point.
How many of you had like the date night planned babysitter and then call out.
Bro, you're
Like,
lucky.
and you're just looking.
Yeah.
You're like,
You're lucky. You still got your young kids, dude. When we stepped out, our kids were already almost teenagers.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like I look back at like how much my kids wanted me when I was younger and how much I couldn't be there. I've had to like I wouldn't say reestablish, but I'd say establish my relationship with my kids when I got out of public safety.
Yeah, you have to relearn how to live with your spouse because you're with them more, right?
Yeah. She's like, this bed too small now.
She's like, hey, do you got an overtime shift or something you can pick up? I need a little me time.
Like when I got off of graveyards finally, I worked graves for like 7 years straight, dude. When I got off of graveyards, my wife was like, the fuck, you're home every night? Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
You know, she's used to sleeping in bed almost every night by herself and then having me come in when she's getting up. And it's like, that's a huge shift.
Yeah.
Man, I finally remembered what made me go blank earlier because I was really excited.
Don't forget it.
All right. So, no, and it spills right over into what we're talking about now, man. When we're talking about freedom, like it takes a while, and you guys warned me, it's almost overwhelming how much freedom you have when you do step away. And again, I'm not saying that as an encouragement, but public safety, especially as a cop, you're like an indentured servant. If you are on an on-call team, and when I left, I was on 2, or court, dude, there is nothing worse than calling a guy on their day off. And you'd have to tell him, well, you've been subpoenaed for court. I have a vacation planned. No, I didn't put in a leave of absence because I already had the vacation planned on days off. And then they have to burn it up, and that happens.
Yep.
Sorry, you're needed for. There is nothing worse where you feel like your days are not your own. And not only that, and I have some family members that are coming to grips with this right now, but guess what else is free? I can talk about whatever I want.
Oh, that's a big one, dude.
I am no longer, my First Amendment rights are no longer suppressed. And by the way, I've worked as a cop for 12 years, and I was military before that, and I've lived all over the country. I feel like I've developed some life experiences that might be valuable for other people to hear about, maybe a different perspective. You worked the riots in California. You know exactly what those were like there. That's a unique perspective, and I like being able to share those experiences, and you can't do that while you're on active.
Right.
Nearly every department or the military has some sort of policy that says you can't, although the military's loosened up a ton just in the last 6 months. It's awesome because some of those guys get to get out there and speak. So I don't know, that one, the freedom to actually go speak, there's so much that comes with that. It is incredibly uplifting.
The society needs to hear that wisdom, right? I think that's a big part of our problem as a society is like there's a huge disconnect between the public and what actually goes out on in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
I talk to my family. I have a very liberal family too. I know your pain, and they don't believe it, right? Like they're, I tell them my experiences at riots, and I'm talking about BLM, and I'm like, they're a bunch of shitbags, in my opinion. Like the ones I saw on the street, right? That is a bad organization. And they're like, no. They're like, and I'm like, they don't believe me. I'm like, okay.
Currently, right now, I'm in a fight with one over Portland because we have troops deployed to Portland right now. And they're like, oh, it's a total joke. It's completely blown out of proportion, blah, 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 blah.
Bullshit.
And they got really mad because I called Portland a shithole. It was like, let's ignore the protests and everything else. Where do you think I get my opinions from? Like, where do you think I get these?
Well, you're just a jaded conservative white male.
Yes, I'm just regurgitating the belt-fed narrative. No, man. I got a lot of clients out there coming from Oregon. Shout out to Mike, retired Oregon cop, and can no longer stay in that state. Yep. So a lot of clients, including my neighbor and her 2 sons and their best friends who have all been clients of ours, and these are generational Oregonians that are saying, Portland is a shithole. You can't go down there.
We need to get out.
It's homelessness, open-air drug use, rampant tax increases. Going to what? And then we have cops coming over from Oregon that can't believe what it's like to be a cop in Idaho and can't believe the community they have here. What do you think they say? Do you think Portland's a place where they would want their kids to go? Like, that's where our opinions are coming from, is actual real-life experience from people that are on the ground.
Not the legacy news outlets.
Right.
Right. It's real.
Yes, and it amazes me how people are willing to fight that. Like, no, man, I watched it. Like, I was in the riots. Mm-hmm. We were part of the BLM protest that was in Coeur d'Alene. Yeah. You remember I got stuck.
You were part of it.
I get stuck. Hands up. Oh, God. I got stuck in the chant, dude. There was nothing I could do. And then everybody's watching, making fun of me. It was a good time.
You know what? It's funny you brought up indentured servant. You know, that is one of those things that I think that if I went back to my career, I'd probably be one of the worst employees that there was because I wouldn't be able to take any more shit from admin. You know what? We don't have enough people to work today. Well, you know what? You talk to the board of supervisors and you tell them to give you more money then because I'm going home.
Right.
And we have to serve the community. No. We are serving the community. I'm not going to give them, I'm not going to give them my life in a situation where I don't need to.
Right.
We're not going to do that. But I remember my daughter's birthday in 2015. I missed that birthday. It was Halloween. And I remember it was John Chamberlain was my chief. And John's a phenomenal guy. I love John. But I hated him this day, right? I was at work and we had, you have a force overtime as a fireman. And a force overtime as a fireman means that you're packing up your shit and all of a sudden they're like, hey, you're not going home.
Tell me that's not the definition of fucking indentured servitude.
That absolutely
You do not have a choice.
Legitimately, right? And I remember getting the call, hey, your relief called in sick and now it's, 9 o'clock. I was supposed to get off at 8. They were coming from another station, whatever else. You're forced today at work. And I remember saying, I'm not staying. It's my daughter's birthday. We have plans. We're dressing up. It's Halloween. Fuck that guy that freaking called off, dude. I'm not. Close the station. I don't care. And I threw a fit. And I get a call from John Chamberlain. And this is one of the hard things when you have ego and you've been working for a career, right? He gives me a call and he goes, hey. And he goes, look, I don't want to have to write you up, which going back, I'd be like, John, go ahead and get the paper and I'll go ahead and sign it, but I'm leaving today.
Yeah.
And you can do whatever you want with that. Mm-hmm. But he told me, he's like, look, he goes, don't make me do this. He goes, because literally I'm coming down there tomorrow to promote you to captain. You motherfucker. And I had...
Hey, dangle that fucking carrot over your head.
Dangle it in front of my carrot. Dude, you know what? I would go back today and I would lose that promotion in a second for my daughter's birthday. In a second, I would lose it.
But now you have the benefit of perspective because you're out and you recognize when you're in it, it's so hard.
Oh, yeah.
And they're so good at that. And I don't even blame him.
Right.
It makes him sound like a shitty individual, but it's not.
John's great.
It's what the agency requires in order to keep it going. And John talks about this. 10% do 90%. And if you're in that 10%, they will continue to take and take and take and take and take because they have to.
Right.
I don't even blame them. Like, that's the perspective I've gotten now. Like, there's no animosity. I was lucky enough to leave with none towards the city, none towards the agency, nothing. But you recognize when you gain a little bit of perspective that those individuals, if you are a hard charger and you bust your ass and you're in there early every day and you stay late and you like to train, you like to teach, all the stuff you like to do in this job, all the extra stuff Dave does here, you just transition. But if you're one of those, man, they will work you. They will absolutely work you into the ground because it's what's required for the benefit.
There's another interesting dynamic too of like, and I worked in a toxic office for a while and I didn't even know it at the time. I was just like, you're in it, you don't realize it, but trying to do extra stuff and then other people in the office holding you down or making you feel like shit because you're going to some special training and it's like,
oh yeah,
now I gotta work whatever. And it's like, cause you're at this training and it's like,
oh, you know what I'm going to say.
It's crazy and it beats the shit out of you. And then I also ran into
because you don't want to screw a buddy and that's what it makes you feel like.
It does. But I'm like, well, I also want to like pursue this because it's cool and it'd be good for my career and I'm interested in it. But now I'm getting shit from the other guys because it's like a weird dynamic. And then I don't know, that shit bugged me a lot.
Oh, what do we get on the street all the time? You have cops that are shitting all over cops that are very proactive and out arresting felons.
You're creating more work for me now because I got to go take this crash because you're in the jail booking or whatever. Yeah,
all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's pretty standard across the board, especially if you're recognizing somebody for stuff like that. It can be that type of environment. That's where it's nice when you have a strong and stable enough base or a steady hand at the wheel that can kind of direct and maintain your mission and values. Yeah. That's really freaking important.
I used to get it too, and some of you might relate to this, but I would try to start some businesses on the side outside. Like my wife was doing nutritional and fitness coaching, and then I want to get into that too. And then you're getting mocked by the other guy. It's a jealousy thing. It's weird, but dealing with that dynamic of like I'm actually trying to better myself and get something else going, and you fuckers are trying to bring me down. Weird.
Right. And sometimes, man, even like I recognize that when I was doing both at the PD, there would be some of that, like where I think there's a lot of people that would really like an opportunity to get out, and it's not because the agency's poor. It's just because of the lifestyle that it creates. And simple fact is, and this isn't a police versus fire thing, I think it's easier in fire to have a second job than it is in law enforcement.
Yes.
I think so.
Just by the way of schedule, and you're able to detach a little bit because if you're you're a ball buster as a cop, man, you're in there every day. I mean, unless you're in there pulling OT shifts. So I think there is something to that. And life expectancy of a retired firefighter is higher than it is for a cop. And I just think part of that's probably due to the shift schedule. It can be. Not the way you did it. Not the way you did it where you're in there.
Well, it's hard too, because you look at both of those. I mean, Ed Noble, he was a captain, God, before I was ever even there. I remember. Anyways, but he just retired, God, just a couple years ago. I just saw a post the other day, and I was like, he has cancer now. And
I've seen so many guys I worked with. I've seen so many guys. I know a guy I worked with. I won't say any names, but he was like the overtime guy. I mean, he worked unbelievable amount. He was making $350,000, $400,000 a year as a chippy, like a shitload of overtime, and then retired and cancer. And it's like,
that's right, dude.
Would you take that time back? I know you would.
Enjoy the ride, man. Like, this isn't about the finish line. You don't get to the pension finish line and all of a sudden you're set for the rest of your life and you're drinking Mai Tais on the beach. That's not what happens.
It's not real.
It's fucking boring too,
man. That's where I've kind of stepped back. You better, and guess what? If our entire business tanks, if it goes in the ground and all of a sudden a year from now we're like, oh damn, what am I going to do now?
We got whiskey.
I truly, but truly enjoy the ride.
Right.
Leave something that's lasting for somebody, like it impacts somebody else's life positively. You can definitely do that in this job too, but there's a lot of other ways of doing that. And enjoy the freaking ride, because you never know when it's your last. Like, we could wake up tomorrow and any one of the three of us could have we're super negative now, but we could have a debilitating condition.
I can tell you that it will not be my colon, bro.
Yeah.
My colon is certified.
Mine looked good when they went up there, but I still think it's questionable.
I don't know for 5 years.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. 10 years of Metamucil going into that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's good or bad or what.
You got me. You got me on the. You got me on the. I'm not. I found an organic. Of course, you know me, bro.
Yeah.
I found an organic. It's the same shit in Metamucil, but it's just like the organic
psyllium husk.
And I don't trust name brands, bro. I see these things. I'm like, putting some fucking red dye in that shit or whatever.
Psyllium husk.
Psyllium husk.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
you're
that a
about to
plant?
have your light. Yeah, bro. But I found an
corn husk or
organic
something?
powder.
What is it?
I don't know. Psyllium, dude.
All right. Yeah.
What is psyllium?
It's a plant.
None of us know because we're all stupid nowadays.
I don't know.
That's true.
But you got me on the train, dude, and I'm like, I'm digging it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Save on toilet paper.
It does. Like that's a valid thing. Yeah.
However, it has
I know
nothing.
what you get for your birthday, bro.
If you guys haven't been up here, Casa del Oro, Mexican food in
It's like-
Kellogg is phenomenal. But Metamucil had nothing on that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, it's nothing. Couldn't touch it.
It was like I didn't even take it.
No
Just
amount
wiped
of
it up.
fiber can fucking solidify that.
But it was good food, though.
Yeah, dude,
Really good food.
I want to get into this because I know you've brought it up before, and you just have the Dave math brain. Because I do want to get this out there because we're talking about the pension trap. Okay. I want to get into the finance side of it a little bit, and we can take like a standard, easy number, retirement, and say what the actual cash value of that in comparison to what the life expectancy is, and how you could get something close to that.
Damn,
I would.
Bro. That's a lot of math, bro.
Well,
you sound smart.
You get what I'm saying, though. Like,
but it depends on the department too, because say you work for CHP and you the retirement's changed now. It's 2.7 at 57. But when I came on, it was 3% at 50. So you could work 30 years and you'd cap out at 90% of your pay. Which there are guys that retired that were making more in retirement than of their base.
So I'm going to pause you on that real quick. So we base that whole 30-year, but truthfully, what is the average age of the people that start in CHP?
Oh, it's older, right?
Right.
It's
so
rare
that
you get a
30-year
21-year-old.
thing, even though it was 3% at 50, I would say that the average is probably 2/3 of that, maybe starting in your 30s, early 30s.
Yeah, it's
so by the
possible.
time you turn 50, you're lucky to have 20 years.
You're right.
So-
like I came on at 27, I would have had to work till 57, and I'm like, fuck,
because
that's
this
a long ways
is
off, right?
part of the pension trap. They sell you at 30 years at 50.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't start when I was 20. Because
Right.
I was stupid.
does your body stay in it that long? Does your mind stay in it
That's
that
my
long?
question for the guys that start for CHP, for example, and I'm sure a lot of agencies are similar age now. If they start at 21 and have to work minimum till they're 57, it's a fucking long time, dude.
Well, Idaho's rule of 80. So if you start at 21 years old, it needs to be your time in service plus your age, and it needs to equal 80. So those guys got to put in 30 plus.
Oh.
So I started in 30, 31, and I still would have had to do 25 years. I would have had to work 55, 56. And truly, I don't think I would have made it. Like, just at the pace. And I don't know how I would have been able to feather off
you
that
know,
pace.
some guys are able to promote and change that job, but like I I don't think anybody should be working the road at 57 plus years old. You're just asking to get hurt.
Eventually you promote to investigating cops, not bad guys. No, thank you.
Right.
No effing thank you. That'd be worse for me than any domestic I'd go to or any violent, crappy call for service. No thanks.
That's a tough
but
spot.
I would absolutely, if I was going to lobby for anything, I'd said if I was going to stay in with the board and I was going to go down to Boise, I was going to lobby for a 20-year retirement option, even if it was a little bit less. How many cops do you know that were 20 years plus that were good to go, satisfied, happy, well-rounded, good, productive members of the agency and department?
Not a lot.
There are some that are absolute anomalies, but they were just grinding.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that's where like the pension trap and all this other stuff comes in, is that we focus in on one or two people that are actually the exception.
Yeah.
Not the majority.
You know who comes to mind is Brett Nelson, the undersheriff of Kootenai County. That man draws energy from a
100%.
fucking quantum source.
Yes.
And he's a monster.
But the reason he is because he's not the majority.
No.
he's
He's a
an
select
outlier.
few.
100%.
Right.
And so for people to think like, oh yeah, 20, you can do 20 years. Well, not everybody can and be positive. In fact, the majority of the people get disgruntled, get tired, get hurt, get injured, get divorced. They're not having fun at 20 years.
No. And I think where I was trying to go with that, like the pension allotment, when you actually break down what you're getting in return, there are some states like lifetime medical is a significant one. That one's high valuation. But if you get into another job, and by the way, a lot of them pay a lot more. If you get into another job and you're just judicious about setting some money aside for yourself, you can put yourself in a very similar category. The most valuable thing for me when I left, and I was vested with Percy, and I broke down the calculations on what I could have gotten paid. The most valuable thing I did was the 457B. And I did all that myself.
Yeah.
I
fucked
matched.
that up.
Yeah, but it wasn't matched. But I dumped the max in every year. I don't even know why I ended up doing that, but that became immediately available to me when I left. And now you guys know I've rolled that into another house. Like, man, it's worth going to sit down with somebody for a couple of hours and just say, hey, I just kind of want to break down my pension. What would I need to make on the outside? What would I need to invest in order to match this?
That is such a huge piece of advice.
Do you guys think that pensions are just going to go away and it will go to more of a private, like a 457, something like that? Honestly, I think that could be a good thing because you can take that wherever you go.
I think a lot of it will depend on what happens with some of these states. California's pension program bankrupt the whole state.
It's fucking enormous.
Yeah,
PERS is enormous, and if it goes down,
legacy expenses.
There are
in
a
that
lot
state.
of guys that I've worked with that swear it's not going to be there in 30 years.
Well, that's
like,
the thing
I don't know.
too, is that you live off of this. You know, people say, "Well, I'm guaranteed this money." You're not guaranteed jack shit.
Right.
If they turn around and all of a sudden say, "Hey, Eric, we appreciate your service, but there's no more money," what are you going to do? You're going to sue them?
There's nothing.
There's no money,
and they're relying on federal backups and bailouts.
Yeah. I'm lucky to be part of a private retirement system. I wasn't CalPERS.
Yeah, right.
Ours is completely separate, and it's its own organization, which thank God.
I think they will. I think a lot of businesses are doing that now. A lot of private entities are doing that now, where it's going to the 401k, 457B. I mean, if you notice, a lot of retirement and a lot of those legacy programs aren't anywhere near what they used to be. People are living.
No, they're changing, man. Like I said, three at 50, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially the salaries you make down there.
It sounded good. It
2
doesn't sound good to me
2.7 at 57 sounds real bad. And imagine you were one class away. So you're like cadet class of 3 of, I don't know when it changed, 12 or 2012. And then the first class of 2013. Now these guys are at 57. You're like, you motherfuckers. If I'd gotten in 6 months ago.
7 more years and 0.3% less. Yeah, 10% less.
That sucks.
Well, and how many guys do you know that get to a retirement age and then they start calculating what their bills are going to be and what they're actually going to get paid and then what their healthcare premiums are going to be until they hit Medicare age?
That's what I'm saying.
And they're like, dude, I can't afford it. They stay.
A lot of departments are like 50% of your base pay or something, right? You do 20 years.
Yeah.
I think the guy I was talking to at Chicago said if he got out now, he'd be 50% of his base pay. And I'm like, that ain't enough to live on, dude. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's not enough to live on.
So we know a guy, I won't name him, but we went up and looked at his house. He got a really nice shop and everything else, right? And we went up there and he's looking at selling his house. He's got amazing property, right? Amazing property worth a ton. And he's looking at selling it because as a retired fireman of, pretty much a full pension, he's like, man, we don't have any expendable income to do anything. He's like, I got to pay for my insurance. I got to pay my taxes. And then I'm left with X amount. And like, we only get a few $1,000s a month, right? And so he's looking at selling his house just so he can put money in the bank so that they can do the things they want to do and enjoy life like you thought you would do on your pension.
Right.
Right. And like I said, his house is worth a ton, but he doesn't have access to that.
Yeah. If I could recommend anything to, hopefully young cops are listening. They're probably not on YouTube. We're going to put this on TikTok or something. No, I'm just kidding. But truly, I hope some of the young cops, if any of them are listening, man, invest in yourself and look into your own 457B. I would recommend that one just because it has more accessibility. 401k is a little bit of a scam. They get to retain. Yeah, they get to retain all of your money for how long? Right?
You are loaning your money to somebody on, truthfully, a very low percentage.
I agree.
That funding institution is using your money
Yes.
to invest and make millions.
And you can't touch it.
And you don't get to touch it.
Without
And by
a
the way,
penalty.
when they make millions, they'll put a drop in your bucket.
Right. It's wild to me to think about it. Just look at a couple of financial vehicles that are readily accessible to you later. And obviously we're in real estate, man, and we're all currently investing in our own real estate because of the return. And to me, that's a bank account. This is explained really well. Cantrell explained this to me once. He's like, hey, man, because I was looking at building a shop. He goes, dude, don't think about it like you're spending money. Does that increase the value of your house? Yeah. He goes, by a lot? Yeah. He said that you're moving money from one account to another. You can just use this account. Because you get to use your it's like that with other things. There's other things to do. Cars, highly unlikely that you're going to get your return on that.
Boat.
Yes, probably
You
not.
will make good memories.
Boat, you're not.
You're gonna make
Memories,
good memories.
those are priceless.
Yes, and I'm a big fan of that.
I'll
But-
say that's the big thing too. Like putting things into perspective. We think of money so often. The clients I was with yesterday, we talked about, and we've looked at quite a few homes. You guys know them.
Yeah.
We're looking at quite a few homes, and they finally asked me like, well, what do you think the value of this property? I go, look, you guys have been telling me you have a dream to move up here to buy this legacy property, whether you tear it down or not. It's going to cost you a bunch of money to do it. And I'm like, but we've been talking about it for 3 years now. And at the rate we keep going, we'll talk about it for another 3 years. I'm not telling you to go buy a property, but what I am telling you is that if you buy that one, you risk to lose a couple $1 million doing what you want to do. Will you in 3 years be happy that you have that couple $1 million? Because it's a lot of money for them to do what they want to do, and they have the money to do it. Or are you going to look back in 2 years and be like, you know what, that was totally worth the loss? Like, look at what we did and look at what we get to live.
It's the ride, bro. It's
I know.
like
There's a
enjoy
lot-
the ride.
You're not wrong. Like I've made decisions based on
We both have.
quality of life, right? Like the house we're building now,
Yeah,
right?
we are broke.
I bought a house with a lot that I intended to remodel. We ended up tearing the house down, so in effect, I bought a very expensive lot and then built a new house on it, right? But I don't care. I love that fucking land.
Yeah.
Right.
I
That's
would
the
like
thing,
to
too.
die there. I don't know if that's reality, but I would like to.
I'll bury you.
Yeah,
Did-
thanks, bro.
did
I
I
got a
talk-
tractor. You just use the backhoe. Shove me 3 feet. That's all you need.
You know, I'm about to spend $1 million today, right? Yeah, I kind of feel that. And I've been
Oh, are
in
you
this-
closing today?
I'm signing today. yeah.
Holy smokes,
I know.
congrats.
Yeah, a lot of freaking money. Bro.
And
but
these numbers sound crazy. I didn't throw any numbers out on my own. But
yeah,
you did.
sorry.
But
That's my bad.
they sound crazy. But 5 years ago, I could not have imagined that
right.
I can be where I'm at now. Because the first 10 years of my career as a chippy, and I made good money. My first year out of the academy, I made over $100,000. We were check to check for years because my spouse didn't work.
Right.
Which was great for us and the kids. Like, I'm glad we did that and we could do that, but it was check to check forever.
Yeah.
I had to work overtime to like meet basic living expenses, which is fucking crazy. And
Well, it's hard with CHP too, and even with law enforcement, whatever else it is that you get bound to a certain area for the most part.
Yeah.
like you get bound to. So if you're in CHP, you have to live in a certain area, and they'll move you around too. So you have to
kind of.
the cost of living. You have to pay for that house. You have
Right.
to be in those areas. You have to pay for that fuel. You have to pay those
Right.
taxes.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
There were limitations. I mean, they don't force you to move, but you know, you can move. But if you want to promote, more than likely you're going to have to move,
Right.
which sucks, dude.
Again, and I just think it should be a constant reevaluation. If you love being a cop or you love being a firefighter and you are enjoying it and you're giving back to your community and you're taking an active role where your kids are growing up, man, there is nothing more honorable than that.
Please keep doing it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. But it's okay if you're sitting back and you're reevaluating a little bit. It's okay. You should be doing that biannually, annually, sitting
Right.
down with your spouse, seeing what your goals are, seeing what your goals are for your family and for later and stuff like
Right.
that. And I just don't want people to think that they just can't go do anything else.
Okay, so how do you take the leap? In your opinions, I mean, you did this. You got something going before you left.
Yeah.
I think the first thing you
How
do
do you
is
take
kind
the
of
leap?
what Eric alluded to is you put yourself at retirement. If you got 10 more years, put yourself at retirement right now and say, what do I get? What am I going to do? Look at your finances. Imagine inflation. Imagine things like what happened in 2021, where you get a mass inflation spike. You get these certain things. Where am I going to be in 10 years? And then say, what is my plan for that? Is it leave now? Is it find a second job?
Somebody's ringing.
Is it invest? I think you put yourself at where you're going to be when you retire, because this is the caution. This is why we talk about the pension trap, because we've seen too many people go and all they have is the pension, which is phenomenal for public safety, right? When you compare it to other pensions and things out there. But it's a life changer, and not necessarily in a positive way.
Right.
To go to just that pension. So I would say you put yourself in your seat, talk to a financial planner, like you said, and say, what is my plan at that point? How much money am I actually going to make when I'm not making an extra 50% in overtime?
Right. And let's say for a second, you don't want to go talk to a financial planner yet. It's a little bit harder. You got to set, they're always better. But chat is a really good resource. If you give it numbers, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty close. And then it's going to give you, like, it did this when I was going through this thing with the house, where I'm like, all right, here's this, here's what I owe, here's the percentage rates, blah, 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 blah. And like, I kick all this out and it said, do you want me to give you a 5, 10, and 15-year prospectus on which one? It's like, holy crap. Like, should I do a 401k? Should I roll it into a 450? Like, those are great questions. Let it, like, break down some of those numbers. And then it's going to give you a pretty good rough to go into a financial planner and say, dang. Because I think a lot of times people think that when they get to pension, it's over. Right. Once they get there, they're like, yeah, I made it. I'm safe. And all of a sudden you're Mai Tais on the beach and marlin fishing in Mexico. And unless you've done some other stuff to set that up, it's not that way. And honestly, it's like, even if you have a really, really good pension and you're just on the pension, you're middle of the road, right? Like,
yeah. It's going to be hard to get.
And it's unfortunate because that job deserves the best. If you make it for 25, 30 years serving your community, doing the things that first responders do, you deserve better.
Okay, here's a question. A lot of guys are like, well, I'm just going to move to a state with no income tax. That seems smart, right?
Oh,
like the great state of Washington.
Man, please go back. Just it's on the IRS website. We did that. We have a separate video on that where I break down what the individual states burden per citizen as far as taxation goes. And that doesn't even include things like vehicle registration, the gas tax. How many Washingtonians drive over here to get gas?
Property tax.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
If you're going to go somewhere because of income tax, the benefit to an income tax-free state is when you're making a lot of money. Not $100,000, not $500,000. We're talking about millions of dollars a year. If you are making millions of dollars a year in income, an income tax-free state is the place to go.
Right. My argument is that they're going to get you somewhere else, right? Like we just talked about, you know, and whether it's another tax or it's just quality of life.
Yeah.
One of them.
Right. For example, Washington has no state income tax.
Right.
This was before their $9 billion tax increase, which was historic. They were ranked 45 out of 50, one being the best, and they have no state income tax. You're talking about individual tax burden per citizen. They were 45 out of 50. Idaho has a state income tax. You know where we rank? 11th out of 50. And our biggest burden when you break down the subcategories is unemployment tax insurance because we have a lower population. So if it's more for 1-to-1. So please just evaluate.
Don't jump on the bandwagon if you think that's going to save you.
Yep.
Yeah, I brought that up on purpose.
And also,
of that.
here's another thing too. We're talking about money today and how it's so fickle.
Yeah.
Don't make decisions based solely off of money. If you are searching for where you're going to live just because of the tax burden, man, good luck.
You guys brought it up a couple times, and you're talking to people where they're dealing with millions of dollars. All right, me, if I think 2 years ahead and I spent $2 million, I'd be like, oh, God. Like, it's crazy.
If I had $2 million.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Nuts. But when you think about if I've ever spent money on like a trip or an experience or like a family adventure or any of that, I've never missed the money.
Do you even know the cost?
No. I just think back on the trip. Oh, man, that was odd. Like the one where we went to Kauai where Trent and I went on that.
You almost died on the
Yeah,
cliff,
we almost died on the cliff. It was epic. But I'll never forget that. Like,
right.
I'll never forget. And I don't even know what that cost me. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing. You don't remember that. You remember the cost of your house. You remember the cost of these other things. Yep. You don't remember the cost of those things because you don't care. It was the experience that mattered.
And you guys said, and you're right, and it kind of hit me in the guts where I still do have little kids at home, and they see me a lot more than my son did. Because my son, I was either in the military or I was in law enforcement. I'd go away to A school. I'd go away. I'd be at the police academy, and I'd come home late, and I'd get called out, and I miss birthdays, and I miss Christmas and all that stuff. And there is a weird thing where it's like a readjustment.
Yep.
It's a readjustment when you come back because he's just so used to me being gone or checked out. Because even half the time you're there, you're not there.
Yeah.
right? Where you're thinking about like, oh, I've got like super stressful, like court date tomorrow, jury trial. It's
Yeah.
going to be,
I slept 2 hours and now I'm the grumpiest piece of shit.
but you're trying to be a good dad. You're trying to be a good, you're working graves. It's your last shift. So do you sleep and get up, or do you trying to recalibrate your days? Do you go get an hour? It's
How was it when you told my wife you thought about retiring?
oh God.
Good story.
I've never seen her like that. That was amazing.
So angry,
She's
dude.
so nice all the time.
Yeah,
Except
Not-
for that
not to
time.
me. Not to me.
She is the. I credit her with the sole reason as why you retired.
No, dude, I had a date in mind the whole time. Come on. I
Kept
told
pushing
you
it
guys.
back.
Yeah.
That's so
pushing
funny.
it back.
No, but it's full speed now, man. I have no regrets, and that's the biggest thing. I think it's natural to have a couple of times, like, I gotta feel like such a bitch even saying this, but Canfield was hard for me just because it seemed like the first critical
It's
incident.
hard for all of us, man.
Oh, dude, well, you just feel like you should be there because you have a skill set, right? And it's the first critical incident, whatever. But so you have a few of those moments where it's like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? I should be doing that. I should be up. And you're gonna have a few of those just because you still assign some of your own self-worth to the job. But in looking back, I agree. It'd be so hard to get me back. Right, like to get me back into that, because you see with the outside what you can do, and you can still have a positive conversations like this. There's one person listening to this where they're like, man, like they take something away from it. That's a huge win.
I will say though, zipping up that onesie, you kind of get a little giggle.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's still pretty fun, dude. There are
And
things I
you're
miss.
always gonna miss it, right?
Yeah.
But you look back on it fondly, and you remember the good times. More
was
than,
a great
more than the bad
time.
times, right? And that's okay. That's normal. I mean, I've been out 5 years, and I still
I don't think I would
associate with
I
it.
don't think I would survive. I made a post. I don't know if you guys saw my story this morning. I was walking, and I made an evasive maneuver to the right and twisted my knee. That was it. I was just fucking walking. I was all I did. I walked straight and went, oh, I'm going to go this way. And I did. And then I'm like, I got to go home now. I hurt my knee.
Right.
That was my gym experience this morning.
Any clients that I've had out here will confirm that as I'm like walking around, or we're checking out houses, or we're driving in the car together or something, like I tackled a guy right there. I arrested somebody out of that house right there. Like there's still those things where it's like, yeah, like you get like a little bit of a dump, right? Like it's fun.
All right.
That'd be hard. I feel like that'd be hard for me. I'm kind of glad I don't live in the area that I worked.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was like, oh, yeah, somebody died in that corner. You know what I mean? Like car crashes for me. It was like, like driving around, I'm like, fuck, just the bodies.
That's taken some time, like if I'm at Walmart or something, because I'm always like looking around to see who's in there to see if I know who they are. It takes a little bit, but I don't know, maybe I'm losing it because I look a little less coppish now, I guess.
Yeah, it's all the gray.
Shrek is one of our listeners called me.
Only when
That
you
was
shave.
pretty funny.
Only when you shave.
I know.
I'm going to shave soon.
Yeah.
Don't, please don't.
Yeah, just to let this thing, I don't know.
You look
I look so young and fresh when I shave it.
You look like a waxed old man testicle.
You know these are pubes, right? That's what
I'm just
they
saying
come
when
in at
you
a certain
shave,
time
it's like,
of your life.
it's like it's a little loose.
This is
around.
what
It's like
puberty
you get,
is.
Yeah, you get the odd little wrinkles
Just
in
saying.
there. Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You guys got what do we
Final
got?
thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. Honestly, like, man, if you were in public safety and you're looking at your pension, like we're happy to talk with anybody. We're not financial advisors. In fact, we really don't even give that good of advice in general. But we do know that like it has been seen that it's a struggle when people leave and that's all they have. So we just encourage people to evaluate, like, when is your retirement date? What are you going to do on the side? What's going to be your next step? Because life does go on. And I think people are really, really qualified to do a lot of things when they leave a public safety career.
Yes, and it's okay at least once a year. You should put it on a calendar, which I'm getting better at, or sit down with your spouse and align what your priorities are for you and your family. Right?
Good.
I wish I'd done that when I was young. We've all had survived marriage struggles through the course of this profession, and I think a lot of that could have been helped if we'd done that. Say, is this career field aligning with what our goals are for our family? Because at the end of the day, take care of the ones that are going to be there the day after you retire. They care about Dave, Seth, and Eric, not Captain, Sergeant, Chippy, right? Like, they don't care. Because the day you leave, man, they recycle your number.
There's no rank in Chippy.
Chippy
You're all the
Chippy
same.
sounds kind of gay when he said
Sorry about that. Chippendale. Sorry.
You're all the same.
Trooper. I got you. All right, sorry.
That sounds cooler.
But you get what I mean.
Yes.
Take care of those ones. So you should be realigning what your values are for your family, and then just seeing if the career actually meets that. And if the answer is no, man.
And if you're hanging on because you feel like you're the only one that can do the specific job that you're doing, You're wrong. Your spot will get filled the day you leave.
Yeah. And there will be people, they won't wait. Like they'll be chomping. Hey, man, how do I get yours? And that's good.
It's good.
That's a good thing.
But know that, and I hate to say it, but you'll be forgotten. And the people that were really important in your life will stay in your life, but a majority of them will not. And that's the reality of it.
I talked to 4 or 5, and I left in April.
Same. Right? And I knew hundreds of people.
And I was pretty entrenched.
Everybody knew Boardman.
Yeah. And so, but that's okay. Like I recognize that part of it. And I think another part of it is they have a tough time reaching out to somebody on the outside. It's almost like man, it's such a weird thing. Like you get tied into
There's
it.
a wall.
Yeah. Well, it's like a drug user that doesn't want to talk to the one that got clean. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's not a terrible analogy, to be honest.
Well, it's because I do think there's a lot of people out there, and I know, man, they're looking just to see if they could do something else. A lot of people thinking about it. Yeah. Just know that you can. Yeah. Not that we want you to leave, because I love that career. I have nothing but respect for that job. Yeah. But there are things you can do.
And don't do like I did and wait. I'm going to do that thing when I retire. I'm going to get into woodworking. I'm going to write a book of poetry, whatever. Yeah. Like, fucking do it now. Right. There's nothing stopping you. Take budget time out in your day and freaking do it now. Because if you wait, who knows what's going to happen? You might die a year after retirement or whatever. Right. I think we spend a lot of our time simply counseling people on the phone that may or may not ever move here. And that's fine. If you guys want to talk about this shit in person, shoot us an email, call us. Like, we're always down to have that conversation with brothers and sisters that did the same job, 100%.
Well, and it gives us so much perspective. You hear us reference people that we have conversations with all the time.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because I think sometimes in Idaho we're insulated from a lot of the bullshit that's going on in the rest of the country. I thought that way during COVID. Mm-hmm. You know, right, wrong, or indifferent, we are insulated from a lot of that national crap or what's happening in Portland. You know, we just don't have that gaining perspective from other people out there. It's like, man, you know, I talk about this as being a cop in Idaho, and this is one of the greatest places to be a cop on the planet. Man, I can't imagine doing it in Chicago, you know, or
rough.
LA or Sacramento. Just be tough. Or frickin' Portland or Seattle. You couldn't pay me enough money. Mm-mm. There's literally not enough money to get me to be a cop.
I would 100% volunteer to go down there for riots and beat the shit out of Antifa, though. I'm just saying.
I've often said,
within the law.
You've heard me. I used to say to PD, I was like, if you deploy us for 2 weeks and you give us Idaho laws and Idaho statutes and Idaho backing, I'm down, dude. I'll go for 2 weeks. That would be
I'm just saying.
Bring a bus. Bring a bus.
Deputize a couple of guys just for a little trip. Yeah, we're down.
Bring a bus for transport. Dude. Like, let's go.
But seriously, on that note, just reach out to us anytime. We're happy to have that conversation. I promise there's no sales pitch. See, I'm not selling you shit.
No,
just giving you ideas.
Cool.
Good to go.
Yep.
Catch you next time.
Cheers, guys.